as a cloud engineer, you need to be able to pivot, and you need to be able to pivot quickly. Today I was setting up this lab for Terraform to demonstrate to you guys, and I was going to do it with Azure. And naturally, all of the SKUs are not available in any of the US regions that I have access to in the free tier of my subscription. So we are pivoting to AWS. Let's check it out. All right, so this is my new AWS subscription, US East 1. Really quick, in my GitHub, I put Terraform script examples for all these labs in my GitHub for AWS and Azure. I won't go over them in here, but they are there for your reference. Really quick, here is an overview of what we're doing today. We're going to set up a 3-tier architecture for a really simple web app, just so you guys can see what's going on. So user goes to the website, and we're going to have a load balancer that splits that traffic off into one of our 2 front-end web servers. And those web servers are going to be locked down and communicating to our database server on the back end on a different subnet over port 3306. That is more or less what's going on. There's obviously a lot more to it than that, with security groups and route tables and everything else going on in our VPC, but more on that maybe in a future video. For reference, check out the Terraform files and this screenshot. Really quick, for Terraform, we put all of our different variables inside of our variable file here. So this is going to lay out our naming conventions, our CIDRs, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to come in here and adjust this for your own lab. For our sake, we have our ports that we're describing to be open for our web ports, our database ports, all of that for our security groups. We've got our provider file showing that this is now AWS and no longer Azure. And our main file is referencing both of those to spin up everything. All this is fairly basic. You can find a lot more examples on HashiCorp's website and GitHub and all kinds of other resources, YouTube. So if you want to reference this to see what's going on, I'm not going to walk through this entirely right now, but it's standing up all the resources, referencing the files, and at the end it's going to output our application load balancer FQDN that we can actually test out our web server. All right, guys, with all that being said, let's get going. So I have copies of these on my local file explorer here. You do need to run this from that location, so I've already changed directories just so we can get this going. First things first, Terraform, I can type, init or initialize. That's just turning everything on, making sure those plugins are active. Next up, I'm going to run the plan command. This is going to make sure that I don't have any errors in my scripts, and it's going to tell me exactly what we're pushing out, and this is referencing the provider files and the variable files and utilizing that with the main file, and it gives you the output of what actually is going to happen. So you can see here 17 different resources are going to be added, and then it's going to spit out that application load balancer FQDN for us. Next up, Terraform apply auto approve, just so we don't have any more pop-ups. And we're going to hit enter. That's going to take a few minutes, nothing crazy. While that's going on, I've tried this with Microsoft Azure. I did it once successfully on one of my production subscriptions, but I don't want to use that for labbing, so we're not going to do that now. So I signed up for a free tier, and I could not get these darn free SKUs to work for me. So we're just going to bypass it and migrate over to AWS. Luckily for you guys, as a cloud engineer, you should be bilingual like we talked about last time. So AWS, Azure, whatever, utilizing Terraform for our infrastructure as code backend and pushing it out. So good learning experience for everyone. You gotta be able to adapt, guys. So anyway, you can see all these different resources spinning up. We will test out our actual deployment here in a minute. So again, quick overview. We've got a load balancer in front of our 2 front-end app servers, and those are just a super basic Echo, whatever. In this case, I don't even remember what I put in the actual file. We'll check that out in a minute. And those talk back to our MariaDB backend server. Ideally, we would have a better setup for that, but again, this is just a lab, nothing crazy. We at least have load balancing on the front end, so you could easily apply that to the back end as well. So load balancer split off to your 2 web servers, and then another load balancer split off to your 2 different database servers. Or ideally, you'd go into maybe like a serverless database of some kind, or Aurora, or whatever else you got going on. Depends on the use case. So anyway, wait for this to be done and check her out. Guys, it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. But can you imagine doing this with clicks? If you were a click warrior, oh man, this would take forever. So we're just waiting. With that being said though, guys, you should know how to do this with the old click method. The worst thing that you could possibly do is rely on code exclusively and not even know what it's doing. You should be able to go into the GUI and start troubleshooting whatever the problem is. You need to be able to troubleshoot the code, you need to be able to troubleshoot from the portal. So not trying to downplay all the click warriors out there. Make sure you learn your code, make sure you learn infrastructure as code, but definitely know the GUI as well, guys. Gotta be well-rounded. Cheers. All right, so here it is, apply complete. We've got 17 resources, and as promised, here is our load balancer FQDN. So I'm going to take this bad boy, and I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna go into our browser. And if I go to that just over port 80, you can see right here, Ctrl-Alt-Ryan Lab, AWS edition, and we are on our VM that ends in 133. And if I just refresh, there it is. It switches over to our other instance of 63. So we don't have sticky sessions or anything, so it's just going to go back and forth. And again, that's just proving that the load balancer is indeed working. And if I come over here to my instances, and I'm going to refresh this. Here's my 2 running instances right here. So we've got VM1 and VM0. And then we got our database backend server. So there's 63 and there's 133. So all that is good to go. Beautiful website, beautiful. We should totally use that in production, guys. All right, so I'm done with my lab, and now we need to tear it down. So I'm just gonna do Terraform destroy, and then same thing, you could do auto approve just so we don't have any more pop-ups, and it should tear it down for you. That way you're not getting charged any money on your free tier. So happy labbing, guys, and we'll try it on Azure next time. There you go, guys. Infrastructure as code. A little bit more enterprise-like than using Vagrant. More to come, more labs to come. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. If you like this kind of content, let me know. Comment down below what you guys would like to see next. And if you need help with your resume, don't forget to check out my Cloud Starter Kit down in the description. Lastly, just like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the scripts that I use for this are in my GitHub. Also, link is in the description. Guys, happy labbing. See you next time.